Hi, you are watching SightsIn Plus and this is Romesh. Please do subscribe the channel for the HR news, for HR updates and conversation with the top-notch CHROs, thought leaders and business heads. Today we are going to discuss IT industry's first quarter result in India. And joining us, a renowned HR thought leader, Mr. Milind Mutalik, former Chief People Officer at Accolite Digital. Welcome, Milindji, to SightsIn Plus.
Thank you so much, Romesh, and interesting topic to discuss. Yes.
Milind, if you look at the data which is shared by companies like TCS, like Infosys, Wipro, SCL Tech, Tech Mahindra, and LTI Mindtree. So one by one, if we look at the number like headcount, like attrition and net profit. So if you look at six companies for the headcount, so out of six companies, there's a decline in the numbers for the headcount. For the four companies, there's only the TCS where we can see the addition of around 6,000 people. Infosys, we can see the addition of 210 people. And Wipro, there's a decline of 114 people. With SCL Tech, there's also decline of numbers, 269 people. And Tech Mahindra, there's a decline around 200 people. LTI Mindtree, there's a huge decline, I would say, as they are having the headcount, there's the 1,307 people. So keeping in this view, and this comparison is with the last quarter, previous quarter, with the fourth quarter of financial 2025. So this is we have seen almost the flat numbers of these headcounts. Attrition, yeah, there's a rise in attrition. There's a rise with all the companies, I would say, except one company. So with the TCS, there's a rise from 13.30% to 13.80%. Infosys, there's a rise from 14.01% to 14.40%. And similarly, there's a rise with the Big Pro and there's only drop in SCL. So that was 13%. Now this is a 12.80%. Otherwise, there's a rise in attrition part. If you look at the net profit part, so that is also not very encouraging. This is only the TCS and one more company, Infosys, where we can see there's an addition in the net profit part. Else, either there's a drop or keeping almost the flat. How do you see these numbers as a HR professional?
Absolutely. So let me just look at some of the past trends. I was trying to look at some of the numbers while this discussion was to happen. So unless if you look at FY21-22, when we got out of the probably a pandemic and others, these companies like TCS, Infosys, Wipro, or Tech Mahindra, HCL have grown by 15%, with Wipro growing 27% and HCL growing 12%. So 15, 20, 27, 17, and 12 was the number of percentage growing. Then 23, 22, 23, it has come down to 12, 14, 15, 13%. Okay. Now, if you look at the change which has started happening since 23, 24 is drastic. So according to me, it's a pullover or the effect, after effect post 23-24, where TCS has grown by 3%. Infosys has grown in 23-24 by 1%. Wipro was down by 4%. Tech Mahindra was down by 4%. And HCL grown by 5%. Now coming to 24-25 story, before we go to the quarter one of 26, is TCS grown by 4%, Infosys 4%, Wipro down by -2%. Okay. And Tech Mahindra again was bit minus. HCL did grow by 2 or 3%. Now coming to this quarter result, if I look at quarter on quarter, which is comparing with the last year's, fourth quarter, TCS is down by 3.6, QOQ, common currency with 7.42 billion. So there, as you said, it is a flat year. It may match with their, whatever 31 billion or 30 billion, which they have 30.5 billion, which they have done last year. Similarly, Wipro is down. 2.59 billion is something which they have done. They are down by 2%, quarter on quarter. Infosys 4.94, up by 2.6. So Infosys is a different game as compared to others. And, if you observe a little more in details, you will get to know probably their concentration is on a various businesses. Also, they could have been balancing the regions very well. HCL Tech, again, 3.54 billion, but down by 0.8% quarter on quarter. TechM 1.56 billion, down by 1.4% quarter on quarter. Again, LTI-Mindtree 1.15 billion and grown by 0.8, not even 1%. Now coming to what is these six companies headcount comes to, it's about 21 billion kind of a revenue. They have 16 lakh 646 manpower in this theory, which is about 80% of the NASCOM registered companies or top companies in India. Average attrition comes to 13.85% and average utilization comes to 85%. Now, these are some of the important numbers to know. Let me take you through as to what is the average, typically dependence on line of businesses. Again and again, I'm narrating this banking and financial services, 33% dependence by four companies, except HCL is dependent 21% on, onto BFSI, and Tech Mahindra is dependent only 16%. But rest of them, 33% of their business is coming out of BFSI, which is typically TCS, Infosys, and Wipro, as well as I think Mindtree. LTI-Mindtree. 13% on a consumer business, 10% on life sciences, 13% on manufacturing, 10% of tech services. Because of communication is TechM, 15% it is. Rest is smaller. So these are the business lines. If they grow, the organizations grow. Okay. Another very important point which I've been highlighting is dependence by all these organizations on US, North America, and Latin America is 59% in this quarter. Okay. 27% is on Europe. So if these two creates 85% of their business. Now imagine if these two economies do not do so well, we are all going to have, numbers being counted, but the growth may not happen. So need to find another perspective. Rest of the world is 15% still. So if they are able to grow 2-3% there, the growth will be better. Now coming to, you said about the headcount and the attrition. Yes, if you look at TCS, the attrition is 13.8, which is a little higher. Wipro's highest attrition 15.1%, Infi 14.4, and so on and so forth. Perspective comes in is attrition is going to happen if you are not able to really fulfill the needs of the employees. At the same time, the organizations feel there's a difficulty in growing. Then some of the people who are not really fitting in the roles may be, slowly but surely asked to leave. Coming to order book, if you look at the order book, still everybody has a healthy order book, except Tech Mahindra, which talks about 800 million of order. Rest of them are billion and above, with TCS talking about 9 billion. Now coming to what is the freshers, you've been talking about always the trends which you have. Still the promises hold. TCS still saying that 40K freshers they will hire in FY26. However, people are taking the cautious approach. So will they able to onboard immediately or not? That's the question which will come in. Wipro again 10 to 12K they have talked about. Infosys 20K by FY26. HCL has not given specific commitment, but one of the thing which HCL is trying to harp on or say, we will add the specialist role. And what they are saying is when we are adding the specialist role, we will give their salaries 3 to 4 times higher than what we give to the freshers. I think this is going to be a game changer if they are able to do that. I think probably it will give a good amount of things to the campuses to see that they are able to develop the kind of emerging technology and a best talent there. Because very clearly they said, while the regular cadre in India context gets about 4 lakhs or 4.25 lakhs, the specialist or elite category could be in the range of 3 times higher. Just imagine the freshers at the range of 12 lakh rupees. If they get into HCL, it will change the mode. LTI-Mindtree also is talking about taking a 5K freshers, though TechM is not. Again, they want to go based on the specialization. So according to me, there is still going to be a need of manpower, because if you have to grow or you have to cover the attrition, you will be needing a manpower. But comparatively, the growth rate is not going to be much higher, then it's going to be a problem. Because guidance point of view, TCS didn't give much of a guidance. Wipro gave a guidance of 1%. I think HCL gave a guidance of Infosys gave a guidance of 1 to 3%. So even guidances are kind of very, uh, I would say 2 to 3% or not more than 3%. So I'm saying hiring trend perspective is going to be selective hiring. There is going to be hiring more for the purpose of how you are able to really work on to backfilling the attrition, or you are able to answer to the projects which are coming more in terms of emerging technology.
Very nice analysis and the comparison to the 2023 and 2024 and how we see the growth now in 25 and 26. So definitely the growth numbers are down, and you can say even for some companies there's a degrowth, for some companies that is a flat, and you are rightly said that around 85% projects are from the US and other European companies. So countries, so definitely that dependency is there. So if there's a problem in their economy, so that will impact on the IT business in India. And you have already highlighted a couple of numbers for the campus hiring, what the companies have announced. But I think they have announced in last quarter. This quarter, there is no fresh addition in campus hiring number. So that is the same, almost that is the same as TCS was saying, around 40,000. That is the same as the
I
Wipro,
understand.
Infosys.
Last time we did discuss these numbers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that is the same almost. There is no addition, there is no cut. Another important factor is how to see the lateral hiring. There would be also impact on the lateral hiring based on this data.
See, typically lateral hiring will happen only if we are having a project to engage the lateral hire. Otherwise, whatever lateral hiring is going to happen, it's more going to be towards backfilling. The minute I lose somebody, I want to get somebody, or, typically majority of the IT companies today have the notice period of 3 months. Okay. It started with TCS. It turned out to be everyone doing it. And that being a reason, what's going to happen, lateral opportunities will be more in terms of backfill or the new project coming in. Because even while reading some of the analysis, I understood clients are, kind of changing the scope of the project, which are even long-term projects, or clients are kind of changing their areas of work. So that being a reason, there is one more slowdown because of discretionary spending, or for that matter, even client is not really able to give that kind of commitments and the acceleration. And that's happening as one more reason of slowdown.
So lateral hiring that may also remain slow. There would be the replacements. So company definitely they may hire the replacements, and other the lateral hiring that would be on the project based. So based on the
Yeah.
project, they will have the person.
See,
Now we're coming to
I've
the
been
salary hike part.
Yeah,
So
before
yeah,
that,
please,
let
yeah.
me just add up quickly. Last year's analysis of this top six companies says there are about 22,500 people needed to make 1 billion of a revenue. At the average, I'm saying, ballpark number. So if they are going to have all of them together have 3% growth, then you're going to have opportunity of new hire. Probably, if they're not able to stretch their bench and do it, then probably even 50% of it I take, then there would be a hiring chances of 22 into 3. So 66 would be a higher. And if I look at 13% of this, total manpower of 16 lakhs, okay, then it will come to 1,60,000. Even half of that, if they hire, then 80,000. So 1 lakh kind of a number you can ballpark say could be a lateral hire.
1
Yeah.
lakh number for the lateral hire with the IT companies, all these IT
Yeah,
companies.
yeah,
Okay. That
that's
is
too low. In fact, because looking at the rest of the companies which are in India, so there are about 10 companies which are not listed in India, but they are listed on NYC or some other things. Example, Accenture has 3 lakh people here. So if they have a 10% attrition, they will try and hire at least 15,000 people. That kind of thing I'm saying.
that is very positive part of this analysis.
Yes.
Okay.
So
And
because
now,
these 10 companies broadly has about 10 lakh 50,000 people here.
right,
Amazon,
right.
Microsoft, Cognizant, and name them, they will have that. So I think that could another add about lakh of people. So I'm hopeful that still there would be a churn of, about a lakh or 1.5 or 2 lakhs kind of a number for lateral.
Yeah, absolutely. So they will have the replacement. So including the replacements and project-based hiring. So these are the companies that are getting a lot of Gen AI projects. So definitely we can expect at least this would be the number for the lateral hiring. Now, as I was talking about the salary hike part, so TCS they have referred their salary hike. Wipro they have also announced that differing of salary hike. Uh, SEL and Infosys, these are the companies those who have announced the salary hike. How do you see this impact on the salary part? And do you expect the salary hike with other? There are also a lot of companies apart from these six, seven companies. So how do you see overall the salary hike in IT industry?
See, typically, if you look at the growth is not being seen. If there is no growth, it is moreover working towards sustenance, okay, or resilience. So, how do you do the best in given resources? That kind of a situation is common. And that being a reason, salary hike or better salary hike would not, or across the board salary hike may not happen. The reason is there will be a selective people whom they would like to hold because they are on the critical projects, they are working with the critical clients. Okay, could be the reason that they will be given a hike, or they would be assured that so and so will happen to you over a period of time. Whenever it comes to a hike, I still go back to my time of pandemic, and there used to be two terms we used to use during the salary hike. One is capacity to pay. Okay, whether the organization has a capacity to pay. The second question we used to ask whether the organization has an intention to pay. Okay, so all these organizations have an intention to pay, but do they have really at this point of time capacity to pay across the board? Probably that's something which they are asking themselves, because there is definite growth pressure, there's definite margin pressure, because the clients are squeezing the margins, asking for more discounts, and so on and so forth. So I think salary hike, at least for next 18 months, is going to be a difficult subject to deal with, is my perspective. Because
Right.
as I made a mention, NASCOM is talking about some, March, talks by NASCOM chairman said that maybe, fourth or fifth quarter, we would able to see probably the more discretionary spending coming up, and hoping that, and that being the reason I'm saying, if that money comes into the pocket of these companies, then they will able to do the salary increases.
So, Milinji, recently we also run a survey on
Yeah.
LinkedIn, and we put here the basic question that why the Indian IT sector is experiencing slowdown. As we have seen the data, so there is a slowdown, no doubt. What the options we put here, that is the automation and AI. Is it the reason? Second option is global economic slowdown. Second reason. Third reason is geopolitical tensions. And the fourth reason is de-dollarization. So if you look at the results, so 40% people they have voted for the automation and the AI. 34% people they have voted for the global economic slowdown. And for the geopolitical tension, 21% people have voted, and de-dollarization, only 4% they have voted that this is the reason of a slowdown in IT industry. How do you see this picture?
Absolutely. I did see your survey and this voting which happened, and it goes with absolutely in the right trend. Automation and AI, there are two aspects which I would say. One is clients giving that kind of a project, and second, you having that kind of a skills available with you to deliver what is required there. Now, here there is a catch, and I feel the current situation, at the overall analysis which we are doing, I feel in the current situation, it's a transition or transformation happening of the whole portfolio of outsourcing as to what's going to be outsourced, what going to be the so-called projects would be, what will be a duration of the project. So the first part, automation and AI, is definitely having the impact on the employment, because people are going, they are kind of waiting and then putting in the investment, because if they are feeling that okay, there's going to be this task which I'll able to go ahead with AI, then I'll wait for 3 months. So they are postponing, or waiting for the decision, final decision to be taken when it comes to automation and AI based hiring. Okay, a new role hiring, not for automation and AI, but for the manual work. And that is impacting the employment. How is that working on the IT services company? It is more towards clients. Okay, and there I will give the second reason, that a global economic slowdown with Europe and whatever is happening in US with tariffs and daily change of aspects. We are talking about their pensions, social security benefits, their medications, medical aspect of it. So these are all impacts where people are waiting for some time. So to me, global economic slowdown and automation both are major impact onto the IT services business as well as on the employment. While this is happening, one of the prudent approach would be to be ready with a skilled manpower, because it may happen that we would able to have the AI and the other emerging technology based projects coming in. At that time, if we are ready, we will able to really encash very, very well. So I completely agree. Global economic slowdown, we are not getting a signs of how it's going to turn, because whenever we had economic slowdown, we used to talk whether it's a U, it's H, what it is typically. But today we are not hearing that from the economists or others as to when is that going to end, because a bit of uncertainty still exists as to how this we are going to get out of this. Okay, and that being the reason, little I would say smoky around saying that when this is going to be kind of working out. So first two factors, automation and AI, both from the perspective of hiring by the people and the clients being giving their projects. Second, global economic slowdown. These are the two major reasons. Now coming to geopolitical tensions. Here, majorly, many organizations are waiting for the game of tariff. Now, this also is changing some of the logistical aspect, how the goods are going to move from where to where, and how the whole logistic system for the globe is going to change. Because the minute tariffs comes in, what's going to happen is who's going to supply to whom, what, and when. Because see, if I've read the business, or I would say segments of business this IT services are serving, it has got public service, it has got manufacturing, it has got utilities. Okay, so these are the three sectors which are completely depending onto the logistical part of it. Yeah, and this is something which we need to look. So geopolitical tension or the wars which are happening, or not so great kind of a trade which is happening, these are definitely reasons for the worry.
You are with the survey. The survey results, you are agree
Very
with the
much,
survey results.
very
Okay.
much, very
So
much.
there are two major reasons. There is automation and AI, because many companies, maybe the Microsoft, maybe IBM, maybe your Wipro, and these are the companies that they have started the AI agents and kind of work in HR, kind of work in finance, and which is routine kind of work they're replacing. So definitely this may be one of the reason. Second, the global economic slowdown. So there is also one warning from the World Bank, and for the 2025, there is a cut of 2.3% of the growth. This is not for India. The India's GDP growth that will continue in the same pace that is currently, but other countries. So there is a cut, maybe 1.5%, some maybe 2%. So there is a cut. So overall, there is a 2.3% of the degrowth. That is a warning by the World Bank. So might be, as there is a dependency of around 85% of the project on European countries and USA. So
Absolutely.
definitely that could be one of the reason. So these two reasons are, I think, equally responsible: automation and the global economic slowdown. Third, geopolitical tension, as you already highlighted couple of pointers on this. And this may be also the tariff and some war which is going on with Russia, Ukraine, and there could be some reason. De-dollarization is not much impact, I think, but yeah.
This is where my comment on de-dollarization. See, this trend, while currently the percentage impact is low, or what you're saying, has a potential to affect the long-term financial stability of a tech firms engaged in international services. Tomorrow, if the US dollar goes down, okay, today, if you look at, I'm billing in US dollars, I'm spending in Indian rupees. Okay. IT services company specifically, I'm talking about. Tomorrow, when the US dollar yield reduces, okay, to a Indian rupees, I'm going to have a trouble.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
de-dollarization
There's
is
going to
not
be trouble
now, but it's going to be a, as we go ahead, is going to be one of the impact according to me.
because there's a dependency on the project. So that's why definitely on the for the
Your
IT
revenue
companies,
is earned by you. Revenue is earned
right.
by you in a US dollars.
So, Milindji, I think we have discussed all the important points about
Absolutely.
this IT Q1 results, and we tried to highlight about the hiring part, about the salary hike, and what are the reasons why there is a degrowth or the what is the flat. So, anything else which is important and we did not touch, you would like to share?
No, in fact, feel, majority of the points have been touched by us. My perspective is simple. Even quarter two, we won't see much of a change. But my only point, which I'm trying to say, this is a transition. We need to watch and find the way out. It's not the easy call as to this is the solution because there are many dynamics which are playing together. US, UK, geopolitical problem, technological change, okay, as well as skilling and other things. But I think we have to work harder to see that how do we solve these problems. Yeah.
Right, right. So if I try to summarize the whole discussion based on this data, so hiring, campus hiring, that may be the limited campus hiring we see. Already the companies, they have announced their numbers, and now they're not touching anything on this campus hiring number. Maybe we can see the limited hiring, but yeah, campus hiring, according to that data, may continue. Second, lateral hiring, as we discussed, we can see the replacement hiring and some addition, total number as shared by the expert Mr. Milind, maybe around 1,000, 1 lakh 50,000 numbers we can see in this year. And the third important point is that the salary hike that is crucial right now. Maybe the marginal salary hike you can expect, but not in a double
Margin
digit
salary
or
hikes. Margin salary hikes for the people who are really important for the projects because their talent is directly contributing to the top line, bottom line. They will have to be taken care.
absolutely, absolutely. So thank you so much, Milinji, for joining us and again sharing your wonderful analysis with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks.